So I hope this video finds you doing well. First of all, I guess I kind of had let this channel die out. When I was living in Fort Myers, I kind of went through some things. I was doing Weight Watchers, I was doing Beachbody on Demand, I was doing really good, working out all the time, dropping weight, feeling good, getting healthy. But, you know, sometimes life has a way of throwing us curveballs, and with that, I kind of went through like this whole life transition. First of all, when we moved back to Georgia, it was in October, so I suffered a little bit of seasonal affect disorder, or so I thought. I got really depressed. Then we got moved back into a house. We found a place to rent and moved in the last weekend of January, and as probably everyone in the world knows now, February, the pandemic hit, and that just really added to the stress and the anxiety and just the overall craziness and subsequent lack of motivation and depression that came along with all of that. So I am trying to get myself back on track, and in doing so, when I was in Florida and I was working on my fitness journey, I had actually gotten a certification from ISSA, and if you don't know who that is, it's the International Sports Science Association, and I had become a certified fitness trainer because my goal was initially to learn how to train myself instead of, you know, Weight Watchers was great, Beachbody was great, but I just wanted something that was gonna be really ingrained in my own head and sustained throughout my lifetime. Because as good as those programs were, you know, they cost money, and I wanted to have the tools to work on my fitness and my wellness throughout the rest of my life without having to pay someone else, you know, to teach me what to do. So I got my certification, and during this whole pandemic year, like I said, I've gone through some really deep, heavy depression, and some days I just struggled to even get off the couch. But I've been trying to work on some of my studies because I got really far behind on my psychology course. I'm working on my bachelor's in psychology, and I realized that my certification for the fitness trainer was actually going to expire in January. So I had to make a decision, you know, waste the time and the money that I put into that, or get recertified, do something, and, you know, make something of that from the original purpose of getting it. And I worked really hard to get that, so I didn't want to let it go to waste. So I went through ISSA to take another one of their courses, because if you do the courses through them, that is your recertification. So I found a program called Transformation Specialist, and I looked a little more in depth into it, and I was really drawn to it because it's more about behavior modification, behavior change, and the text just threw me off. But and it's about using positive psychology. Now, throughout my classes during my psychology program, I've been very drawn, and I really am attracted to the whole positive psychology, you know, aspect of psychology. So I thought this would be perfect for me, because I think for a lot of people, I know for sure for myself, that my weight gain isn't because I just eat too much, and it isn't because I'm just too lazy. It's all right here. For me, it's because of depression, and I just lack the motivation to move. It's from, comfort eating. When I'm just having a bad day, I just binge eat the shit out of something. And so it's for myself, because I've had therapy in the past, I knew that I needed to fix here before I was ever going to fix all of the rest of this down here. So I started their transformation specialist course, and in the first unit, first chapter, they talk about the 5 stages of change. Now, one thing I've learned in my psychology classes is that change, behavior change, behavior modification does actually come in steps, because nothing really ever happens like overnight, especially change. We get our routines, our habits, our thoughts, just we get those ingrained, and you can't just change those over time. So it's about the stages of change. So there's 5 stages, and the first one is called pre-contemplation. And that's when the person is not ready to make a change, but everyone else is kind of pointing out that they need a change. Now, according to the text, it says that the person in pre-contemplation is unaware of the risks of, their habits, or, the behavior that they want to change, or they mentally minimize the risk of that behavior. And it could be like, an example they give is like someone saying, I don't see anything wrong with what I'm doing, but my significant other asked me to come here. And I think for myself, I do relate to that. And I think that I've been in this pre-contemplation stage for a very long time myself, because, people will point out to you, like, people will say, you really should take better care of yourself, or you really should drop a little weight because you're going to get health problems. And, there's this initial gut reaction to where you're like, you almost get mad that they pointed out, and you're like, I'm fine. So I might be a little overweight. I'll take care of that later. I'm healthy. What do they know? Well, the truth is they actually know a lot. They love you, and they care about you. And they point these things out because they care so much that they want you to be healthy. They want you to live a long time and have a good, healthy life with them. So the initial reaction is that you're just like, you don't know everything. I've got a handle on this. I'm fine. I'm good. So, but they care. And that's just kind of like, they want you to be healthy, but you just aren't ready. And when you're in this pre-contemplation stage and you're not ready, that's definitely not the time to try to make behavior changes. Because if you try to make a change you try to change any behavior or any habit for anyone else other than yourself, then you're just setting yourself up to fail anyway, because it has to be something that you want. You have to be ready mentally, you have to be ready physically, you have to feel it in your heart, like you have to be driven to make this change. Otherwise, you're not going to, because if you're doing it for someone else, you're not doing it for yourself. So you're not going to put the work into it, you're not going to put the heart into it, and you're just not going to be successful with it. So the thing about the pre-contemplation stage is just accepting that you're there and that there is a problem, and getting pushed in the right direction to move toward the next stage of change, which I will talk about that in a video next week. So this is my first video back in forever, and going through this transformational specialist program and documenting my personal transformation along the way as I am, going through this, and just sharing it with you, or just having it for myself to look back on one day and be like, wow, this is where I started out and this is where I am now. And that's pretty big, and that's where I'm looking. That's where I'm headed, So anyway, I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day. Stay safe out there, and remember, love yourself as much as you love everyone else. Bye.